There's been a lot of criticism recently of John Paulson, the billionaire who just donated $400 million to Harvard University. Critics have pointed out that this is not a great use of Paulson's riches, and that if he really wanted to help the world with his money, there are many better charities and causes that he could have donated to. Just for example, he could have saved literally tens of thousands of lives by donating that money to an organization that distributes bed nets to prevent people in the developing world from getting malaria, and has like a solid, very evidence-based track record of doing so. And on the one hand, I agree with the critics. This is not a great way to help the world, donating to Harvard, per philanthropic dollar. It's a very inefficient donation. And yet, on the other hand, I've found myself sort of hesitant to judge Paulson for his choice the way many people have been doing. And I think that's because, as some people have, I think, rightly pointed out, if Paulson hadn't donated at all, no one would be criticizing him. If he were using that $400 million to, buy yachts for himself or whatever, he wouldn't even be on the public radar, and no one would be criticizing his inefficient philanthropy. And I think this is part of a broader pattern of doing something imperfectly being much more heavily criticized than not trying to do something at all. So this connected in my mind to a bunch of recent examples of some public figure trying to say or do something in favor of social justice, feminism, or equal rights, or other progressive causes, but doing it in some way imperfectly in the eyes of their critics and getting slammed in the press or on blogs or on Twitter for doing so. Patricia Arquette at the Oscars was a recent example. She, in her acceptance speech, gave a speech about equal rights and feminism, but one of her lines sounded dismissive of, say, gay rights, and so she got far more criticism for that talk than praise. Aziz Ansari gave an interview where he was coming out in support of feminism, but something about the way he defined feminism rubbed some feminists the wrong way, and they wrote articles criticizing him and saying that that's not the kind of allyship that they want. These are literally two of a huge number of examples that I've noticed recently, in which someone either tries to help the world but does it in an inefficient way, or tries to support a cause but does it in an imperfect way, and they get far more criticism than if they'd never tried at all. I don't have a great answer for what to do about this phenomenon. I just wanted to call attention to it, and point out that criticizing people for doing something imperfectly rather than not at all seems like not the kind of incentive structure that we, as a society, should be putting in place.